This call is now being recorded.
Okay, good afternoon all. So whether my voice is audible and my screen is visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So in the yesterday's lecture, we have started the problems on the type number 2. The name of that type is problems on bars of varying cross section. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the how to solve the problems based on the bars of varying cross section and why this particular bar is called as a bars of varying cross sectional area. So in the yesterday's lecture, whatever we have discussed, that discussion is in front of you in the form of that particular slides. That is, whatever the figure is in front of you in that particular figure, it consists of three sections. That is section 1, section 2, and section 3. And all the three sections are having the different dimensions. For example, section 1, it is having length L1, section 2 is having length L2, and section 3 it is having length L3. But important thing is that the section 1 is having the different diameter, therefore it is having the different cross-sectional area, which is represented by A1. The middle section, that is section 2, it is having the different diameter, therefore its cross-sectional area is represented by A2. And third section, it is also having the different diameter, therefore its cross-sectional area is represented by A3. And all the three sections are connected to each other, therefore all the three sections are connected to each other, and from this we have formed one new bar. Therefore this particular cross section is called as a bars of varying cross sectional area. In addition to that, that particular section or all the three sections are subjected to some external amount of load, which is represented by capital P. That is, all the three sections are subjected to only one load, which is subjected to external load, which is represented by the capital P. And what is our requirement? If this particular bar is subjected to some amount of external load, then the deformation of each and every section is taking place. So if I have to calculate the total elongation or total deformation of total bar, so what I have to do? I have to calculate the deformation of section 1, deformation of section 2, and deformation of section number 3. And at the end, we have to make the addition. So the formula in front of you, that is total deformation delta L is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3. So for all the three sections, we are considering the same load. So for example, this bar is subjected to the 50 kilonewton load. So 50 kilonewton load we have to consider for section number 1, similarly for section number 2, and similarly for the section number 3. In addition to that, if all the three sections are made by single material, for example, all the three sections are made by the steel only, so only one Young's modulus is given to you for your further calculation. So same Young's modulus we have to consider during calculation of each and every section. But if section 1, 2, and 3, if all the three sections are made by the different materials, so 3 Young's modulus will be given to you. So we have to use that Young's modulus during your respective calculations. So based on this, in the last lecture we have solved this particular problem which is in front of you. That is, one bar is there and it is subjected to the 40 kilonewton external force. So all the three diameters, all the three lengths are given, only one Young's modulus is given, and by using that, so this is the calculation is in front of you. That is, total deformation is equal to delta L1 plus L2 plus L3. And before the calculation, the important thing is that first of all we have calculated A1, A2, and the A3. So the three diameters are given for the three sections. By using that particular diameters, we have calculated their cross-sectional areas, which is in mm square. Then the lengths are also given. If it is given in mm, so we can take as it is. If it is not, if it is given in centimeter, or sometimes if it is given in meter, so we have to convert all these particular dimensions in the form of mm. Then the formula delta L is equal to PL upon AE of section 1 plus PL upon AE of section 2 plus PL upon AE of section number 3. But in that particular three sections, two parameters are constant that we have taken outside the bracket. That is, total load applied on the three bars, it is constant, and only one Young's modulus, that is E, and remaining terms, that is L1 upon A1 plus L2 upon A2 plus L3 upon A3, it will remain inside the bracket because these parameters are not constant. Then by putting the values of P, E, L1, L2, L3, A1, A2, A3, we have calculated the total elongation, which is equal to 0.291 in bracket tensile, because whatever the force is applied on that particular figure, that force is under the tensile or it is under the pulling force. That means due to that 40 kilonewton force, the length of that particular body is goes on increasing. Okay, this is the solution. Again, I have calculated here. Then next problem again we have discussed related to the same. Again, one bar is there. It is subjected to the external load of 85 kilonewton. So in the statement itself, they have mentioned the bar is subjected to the 85 kilonewton tensile load. So according to the direction, we can say that all the three sections are under the tension. So for the further calculation, the three diameters are given. That is first 30 mm, then 25 mm, then 22 mm. Okay, so by using all those diameters, we can calculate the cross-sectional areas, that is A1, A2, A3. Then here at the bottom side, lengths are given, L1, L2, L3, but all the lengths are given in meter. So here at the bottom side itself, I have converted in mm, that is section 1, L1 is equal to 1000, section 2, L2 is equal to 2000, and section 3, L3 is equal to again 1000. Then again, only one Young's modulus means all the three sections are made by the single material only. Therefore, this is the calculation.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Voice is breaking, sir.
My voice is breaking. Yes. Others, please check.
No, sir. No, sir.
So, Revnath, you just left the meeting and then once again you join. Okay. Oh. So again in this particular problem, again P and E are the constant parameter we have taken outside the bracket. In bracket remains L1 upon A1 plus L2 upon A2 plus L3 upon A3, and we have kept all the values and we have calculated the total deformation is equal to 3.44 mm in bracket tensile, because whatever the 85 kilonewton force is applied, it is under tension. So due to that 85 kilonewton tensile force, the length of that particular bar or length of that particular AD is goes on increasing, and that increasing length is represented by this particular capital T. If that body is subjected to the compressive load, again we have to make the addition, that is total deformation is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3, but whatever the final answer you will get, that represents the decrease in length. So in bracket you have to represent by the capital C, means that capital C represents the decrease in length of that particular bar is taking place. Therefore, this is the problem number 2 we have discussed in the last lecture. Now, the next problem we will discuss about this particular type number 2. So first of all, I will read the statement carefully and then we will solve that particular numericals. So what that statement is given: a member formed by connecting steel rod to the aluminum bar shown in the figure. A member formed by means a one new bar is there which is to be formed, and it is formed by connecting steel bar. One steel bar is there, that steel bar is connected to the aluminum bar. That means two different materials are there. One is the steel bar, another is the aluminum bar, and this steel bar and aluminum bar are connected to the each other. And how they are connected, it is shown in the following figure. Okay, then that bar is prevented from buckling. Calculate the magnitude of force that will causes the total length of member to decrease in 0.25 mm. Full stop. The value of elastic modulus for the steel, as the two different materials are there. So for the steel, elastic modulus is given, that is 2.51 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. And another material is given aluminum. For the aluminum, the Young's modulus is given 7 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per mm square. So simple statement is there. What does statement tell? One steel bar is there, another aluminum bar is there. Two bars are connected to each other, and from that combination, one new bar is developed. Okay. So if you go through the following figure, in that particular figure, that construction is represented. If you go through the figure, it consists of two sections. For example, this top section, section number 1, it is called as a steel because steel bar itself name is given, steel bar. Okay. Then bottom section is section number 2, which is called as a aluminum bar. Here the name is given. Okay. And from this particular top side, this P amount of force is applied. So steel and aluminum are connected at this particular middle position, and at the bottom side, this particular bar is totally fixed. So hatching line represents here. It is in vertical structure. So whatever the bars are kept, that bars are kept in vertical direction. So steel bar, aluminum bar are connected to the each other. Okay, and at the top side, this P amount of force is applied. If you go through the construction properly, the bottom side is fixed and the P is applied from the top side. So due to that P amount of force P, this particular bar is under the compression. Means there is a decrease in length. If you go through the construction properly, at the bottom side, the bar is fixed, and from the top side, the P amount of force is applied in the downward direction. So due to this P amount of force, what happens? The length of that particular bar goes on decreasing. Which bar? Maybe steel bar or maybe aluminum bar. We are considering the both bars. So due to that P amount of force, what happened? There is a decrease in length. How much? So 0.25 mm. This much amount of length is decreases due to the P amount of force applied from the top side. बघा काय केलेलं आहे, स्टील बार आणि अल्युमिनियम बार एकमेकाला कनेक्ट केलेले आहेत. खालच्या बाजूला बार फिक्स आहे, वरच्या बाजूला आपण काय केलेलं आहे, पी अमाऊंट ऑफ फोर्स अप्लाय केलेला आहे. पी कुठल्या बाजूला चाललाय तर डाऊनवर्ड डायरेक्शन मध्ये चाललेला आहे. तर त्या पी मुळे त्या दोन्ही बारचं काहीतरी डिफॉर्मेशन होतंय. मग डिफॉर्मेशन म्हणजे कुठलं होतंय? देर इज अ डिक्रीज इन लेंथ. मग किती लेंथ डिक्रीज झालाय तर 0.25 mm. दिस मच अमाउंट ऑफ डिक्रीज इन लेंथ ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर मेंबर. And which parameter we have to calculate? We have to calculate the magnitude of force P. म्हणजे exactly opposite. Whatever the first two problems we have solved, in the first two problems, external load is given to you. And due to that external load, how much amount of deformation is happened, that deformation we have calculated in the first two problems. But in this particular problem, exactly opposite. Some amount of deformation is given to you, and how much amount of load is applied to happen or in order to obtain that particular deformation, that we have to calculate. म्हणजे पहिल्या दोन प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये आपल्याला एक्सटर्नल लोड दिला होता आणि त्या एक्सटर्नल लोड मुळे तुमचं किती डिफॉर्मेशन झालं हे आपण काढलं होतं. बट इन दिस पर्टिक्युलर थर्ड प्रॉब्लेम, द डिफॉर्मेशन इज गिव्हन टू यू, अँड जर 0.25 mm एवढं जर डिफॉर्मेशन त्या बारचं होत असेल तर त्या बारवर किती लोड अप्लाय झालेला असेल, that parameter we have to calculate in this particular problem number 3. Okay, so if you go through the figure properly, here at the top, the section number 1 subjected to the steel bar, its cross sectional area is given. How much? 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter. Here the rectangular sections are there, therefore 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter, this is the cross sectional area of the steel. Then bottom aluminum bar, 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter, this is the cross sectional area of the aluminum bar given. Then at the left side, the lengths are given. So for the steel, length is given 30 centimeter, and for the aluminum, length is given 38 centimeter. So this much parameters are given. So if I will write, or if I will write the given parameters, so whatever the next slide is in front of you, which represents, first of all, I will write the given parameters for the steel material, because two materials are separately given. So length of the steel is given 30 centimeter, but we have to convert in mm. So 30 into 10 is equal to 300 mm is the length of steel. Then cross sectional area is given 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter, but we have to calculate the area in the mm. So first of all, what I will do, that 5 centimeter into 5 centimeter I will convert in mm. So for this particular 5 centimeter, if I will multiply by 10, then 5 into 10 it becomes 50, then another 5 into 10 it becomes 50, therefore 50 into 50, the total cross sectional area becomes 2500 mm square. Then E, Young's modulus of the steel, it is given in the statement. How much? 2.51 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. These are the dimensions for the steel. Similarly, at the right side, we can see here the dimensions or the given parameters of aluminum is also given. First of all, length. How much length is given? 38 centimeter. Again multiply by 10. So 38 into 10, it becomes 380 mm. Then cross-sectional area, how much? 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter. Again, we have to convert in mm. Therefore, if 10 centimeter, I will convert in mm. 10 into 10, it becomes 100. At the another side, multiply 10 into 10, it becomes 100. So 100 mm into 100 mm, it becomes 10,000 or 10 into 10 raised to 3 mm square. So this is the cross-sectional area of the aluminum, which is in rectangular section. And another Young's modulus is given 7 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per mm square. And the total deformation of the bar, this delta L 0.25 mm, this is not a deformation of steel, or this is not. Am I audible? Please check.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, this delta L 0.25 mm, this is not a deformation of steel, or this is not a deformation of aluminum. This 0.25 mm represents the total deformation of bar. That means deformation of steel as well as deformation of aluminum. And if this much amount of deformation of the bar or member is taking place, then how much amount of load is applied on that particular member or the bar, that we have to calculate. Okay, so these are the given parameters in front of you: length, cross-sectional area, their Young's modulus. Similarly, for another material, length, cross-sectional area, Young's modulus, and the total deformation of bar, it is also given. So how to calculate that particular, how to go for the solution? So simply we have to use the same formula, that is here the total deformation is equal to deformation of steel plus deformation of aluminum. Here I have taken the plus E1, that member or this bar is under the compressive load. Then also here I have to make the addition, because that 0.25 mm deformation represents the total deformation of the bar. Total deformation in the sense there is a decrease in length. So therefore here I have taken the total deformation is equal to delta L of steel plus delta L of aluminum. Okay, so at the left side, the total deformation is given, that is 0.25, which is equal to, we are having the two formulas. Total deformation is equal to PL upon A of steel plus PL upon A of aluminum. Okay, so as the both members are subjected to the same amount of load which is applied at the top side. That means P, it is the constant parameter. That means steel bar is also subjected to the P amount of force, as well as aluminum bar, it is also subjected to the same P amount of force. Therefore what I have done, this P I have taken outside the bracket. So in bracket, which parameters are remaining? Length of steel upon aluminum of steel into E of steel. In previous two problems, only one Young's modulus is there, because all the three sections are made by the same material. But here, steel material is different, aluminum material is different. Therefore, E of steel and E of aluminum, these are not constant, or in this particular numerical, it is not possible to take Young's modulus as a constant parameter. Okay, therefore E of steel and aluminum of steel, it becomes inside the bracket. Then next step, once again 0.25 mm, this is the total deformation I have kept as it is. This P outside the bracket as it is. Then length of steel, how much? 300 mm. Area of steel 2500, and Young's modulus of steel 2.51 into 10 raised to 5. This plus sign as it is. Again, length of aluminum 380 mm divided by cross sectional area 10 into 10 raised to 3, or 10,000 mm square, and the aluminum Young's modulus 7 into 10 raised to 4. So once again, next step 0.25 as it is, which is equal to, this is the calculation of Still, this is the calculation of aluminum. So what I have done, 0.25 I have kept as it is, which is equal to P into, this is the value, and by rearranging the terms, that is I have to calculate the P. So that 0.25 I have taken to the right side, it becomes divide, therefore P is equal to 245.09 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. That means this 245.09 kilonewton or 245.09 into 10 raised to 3 Newton, this much amount of load is applied on that particular bar. So I can say that whatever the deformation is taking place, how much? 0.25 mm deformation is taking place, means there is a decrease in length. Then how much amount of load is applied? That at that time I can say that this 245.09 kilonewton, this much amount of force is applied on that particular bar. So this is the one variety of problems in this particular type number 2. What is the basic difference between previous two problems and these problems? In previous two problems, external load is given to you, and by using that external load, we have calculated the deformation. But in this third problem, deformation is given to you, and we have to calculate the how much amount of external load will be applied. That load we have calculated here. The procedure, whatever the formula we have used, that formula is same. Only change is that deformation is given and P we have calculated. Have you got this particular numerical? How it is to be solved? Process is same, but only small difference is there. Have you got anybody? Have you got?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody is having any problem? You have not understood this particular part? Please ask in the chat box, or you can unmute from your side and you please ask if you have not understood. I will explain once again. Okay? No? Okay. Okay. So these are the numericals based on the type number 2. So what is the name of the particular type? Bars. Problems on bars of varying cross-sectional area, in which the number of cross-sections areas are given. All the number of cross-sectional areas or the sections are subjected to the only one external load. If you remind the construction of this particular figures, all the three sections are subjected to only one external load. I am saying external load, and the same load is considered for all the calculation of the three sections. And based on this, we have solved basically three numericals. The two numericals related to the deformation calculation or the elongation calculation, and just now whatever the third numerical we have solved, it is exactly opposite, that is deformation or elongation is given to you in the form of decrease in length, and another parameter, that is external load, we have calculated. So okay, this is the type number 2. In this particular type number 2, only this such type of two varieties are there. Either we have to calculate the deformation, in which the external load will be given to you, and another type, sometimes the elongation or deformation will be given to you, and we have to calculate the total load applied. There is no any other variety in this particular type number 2. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Can we go to the next type? Problems on the type number 3.
Yes, sir.
Anybody having any problem based on this particular three problems or three numericals, or based on the type number 2? Can we go to the next type? It is similar to this only small difference is there. No one is replying.
सर
Yes.
सेकंड लास्ट स्टेप आहे ना, तिथं 0.25 डिवाइड बाय 1.02.
Correct. That P we have to keep right side, and this we have to take at the right side. Yes, correct. That is 0.25 upon 1.02 into 10 raised to minus 6. Yes,
Yes, sir.
this is the correct step because we have to calculate the P. If I will calculate like that, it will you will get the 1 upon P. Yes, correct. So here we have to make one change, that is if I have to calculate the total P, so whatever the term is present to the right side, that term we have to take to the left side, then we will get the P. Okay. So this is about the problems on the bars of varying cross-sectional area. Now we will move to the next.
हॅलो सर.
Yes,
सर ते प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये पॉझिटिव्ह 6 येत आहे सर, तिथं
positive.
6 येत आहे.
Where?
10⁻⁻6 आहे, ते पॉझिटिव्ह 6 येत आहे सर तिथं.
Positive 6 येते.
हा सर.
Have you done the calculations?
येस सर. -6 घेतल्यावर 2.45 10⁻⁷ येत आहे सर तिथं.
Okay. Others, please check. Please check in. Maybe here I'm wrong. Please check your calculations. Please do the addition of 4.78 into 10⁻⁷ plus 5.42 into 10⁻⁷ and tell me this answer P into. You are having the calculators. Please check this particular calculation. Maybe here calculation is by mistakenly it is wrong, or by mistakenly here I have written negative. Others, please check. What is the value? 1.02 into 10⁻⁻6 or plus 6?
बरोबर आहे सर.
बरोबर आहे.
मायनसच येतं सर, मायनसच येतं.
Minus 6.
येते सर.
Okay, okay. So I think Suyesh, you have asked a question, no?
नाही सर, मी नाही विचारलं.
So please check. Okay. Who is there?
सूर्यकांत निलगार.
Suryakant. Please check your calculation, Suryakant.
सर ते पी इकडे कॉन्स्टंट ठेवल्यावर इकडे 0.25 खाली घेतल्यावर ते +6 घ्यावं लागतंय सर ते.
No. This is the multiply term. Please check. P into 1.02 into 10⁻⁻6. Here in between P and this particular value, there is a multiply sign, which is present at the right side. If this term I will take to the left side, at the right side it is multiply. Therefore, if I will take to the left side, it becomes divide. So
Yes, sir.
the sign of that particular 6, it will not be changed. Please keep in mind.
येस सर.
Okay, we have taken all. We have taken 0.2 into 10⁻⁻6. This term we have taken to the left side. Therefore, at the left side it becomes only divide. But sign of that particular respective -6, it will not be changed because this is the total multiply. Getting?
येस सर.
Okay. Okay. Now the type number 3, the principle of superposition. So this is the third type. Again, whatever the problems we have solved in the type number 2, similarly we have to solve the problem based on the type number 3, but one small difference is there. Whatever the formula we have used in the type number 2, same formulas, same procedure we have to follow, but there is a basic difference between the type number 2 and the type number 3. So once again I am repeating, that is in the type number 2, that is in bars of varying cross section, all the 3 sections are subjected to only one external load which is applied externally. Whatever the P amount of force is applied, this P amount of force is a external force, and this same P we are considering for section 1, section 2, section 3. Therefore, we have taken that particular P parameter or load parameter outside the bracket because it is constant for all the 3 sections. But this condition will not be applicable in this particular type number 3. Why? Because if you go through the definition of principle of superposition, it tells that when body is subjected to number of forces, which may be externally and which may be internally applied. Suppose one body is there, or suppose the one section is there, that section is subjected to the number of forces. In addition to that, some of the forces are applied externally, some of the forces are applied internally. म्हणजे एक बॉडी आहे, त्या बॉडीवर नंबर ऑफ फोर्सेस अप्लाय झालेले आहेत आणि त्या फोर्सेस मधले काही फोर्सेस हे त्या बॉडीच्या आउटसाइडला ऍक्ट झालेले आहेत, म्हणजे एक्सटर्नली अप्लाइड. सम फोर्सेस आर अप्लाइड internally. In such condition, what we have to do, it is not possible to take only one force for the further calculation. म्हणजे एक्सटर्नलच्या बाजूला 50 किलोन्यूटनचा फोर्स अप्लाय झालेला आहे आणि इंटरनलला 40 किलोन्यूटनचा फोर्स अप्लाय झालेला आहे. तर आपण तो 50 किलोन्यूटन किंवा तो 40 किलोन्यूटन फोर्स ऍज इट इज पुढच्या कॅल्क्युलेशन साठी घेऊ शकत नाही. So it is not possible to take only external force, or it is not possible to take only internal force for the further calculation that we have taken in the type number 2. In the type number 2, if you remind, the body is subjected to only one force which is applied externally only. म्हणजे एक लेफ्ट साइडला ऍक्ट झाला होता, एक राइट साइडला ऍक्ट झाला होता. And that same force we have considered for all the 3 sections. मग त्या ठिकाणी ते 3 सेक्शन असू द्या किंवा 2 सेक्शन असू द्या. Only single force we have considered for all the 3 sections. But here the principle of superposition tells that as the body is subjected to the number of forces which are applied externally, which are applied internally, in such condition, what we have to do, we have to split up all those forces. We have to split up means whatever the number of sections are present in that particular body, for each section we have to resolve the forces separately and give the separate effect to the each and every section. We have to split up the forces means we have to resolve the forces and we have to give the separate effect to the each and every section. If in case of a principle of superposition, if the body is subjected to the some external as well as internal force, and in that body, if the total 3 sections are present, so what we have to do, for section number 1, we have to calculate the different load. For section 2, we have to calculate the different load. For section 3, we have to calculate the different load. याच्या अगोदर आपण काय करत होतो, बार्स ऑफ बेअरिंग क्रॉस सेक्शन मध्ये सेक्शन 1 साठी पण तोच लोड, सेक्शन 2 साठी पण तोच, सेक्शन 3 साठी पण तोच. वाय? बिकॉज दॅट बॉडी सब्जेक्टेड टू ओनली वन एक्सटर्नल लोड. पण प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन मध्ये काय सांगते, त्या बॉडीवर काहीतरी एक्सटर्नल पण फोर्सेस आहेत, काही इंटरनल पण फोर्सेस आहेत, त्यामुळे आपण फक्त एक्सटर्नल फोर्सेस पुढच्या कॅल्क्युलेशन साठी घेऊ शकत नाही किंवा इंटरनल फोर्सेस फक्त पुढच्या कॅल्क्युलेशन साठी घेऊ शकत नाही. तर अशा कंडिशन मध्ये आपल्याला काय करावं लागतं, सेक्शन 1 ला सेपरेट फोर्सेस रिझॉल्व्ह करावा लागतो, सेक्शन 2 ला सेपरेट रिझॉल्व्ह करावा लागतो, सेक्शन 3 ला सेपरेट रिझॉल्व्ह करावा लागतो आणि सेक्शन 1 चा सेपरेट फोर्स, सेक्शन 2 चा सेपरेट फोर्स आणि सेक्शन 3 चा सेपरेट फोर्स आपल्याला काय करावा लागतो, काढावा लागतो. अँड इन प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन द लोड्स ऑफ ईच सेक्शन विल नॉट रिमेन कॉन्स्टंट. मग सेक्शन 1 चा लोड वेगळा असणार, सेक्शन 2 चा लोड वेगळा असणार आणि सेक्शन 3 चा पण लोड काय असणार, लोड वेगळा असणार. अँड दिस पर्टिक्युलर टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लेम्स आर कॉल्ड एज ए प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ superposition. And what is the basic difference that we will discuss now here. Now the 2 figures are in front of you. So what is the figure is present at the top side? Just now we have solved the problem in which total 3 sections are there. Section 1, section 2, section 3. It is subjected to the external load P. Only one load is applied, which is applied externally. This P amount of force we have considered for section 1, section 2 and section 3. Okay, and accordingly we have written the formula. Total deformation is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3. This is for the bars of bearing cross section, but whatever the bottom figure is there, this bottom figure is applicable for the principle of superposition. Please check the difference between the figure number 1 and figure number 2. In figure number 1, the body or bar subjected to only P amount of external load, and this P we are considering for section 1, 2 and 3. But in case of figure number 2, you can check here the bar AD is given. This is the starting point and this is the end point. Okay, it consists of a total 3 sections. First one is the AB. This is the section number 1. Middle section is section BC, which is called as a section number 2, and third section is section CD, which is represented by number 3. The first section is made by the steel. You can see here, middle section is made by brass, and the third section is made by the aluminum. In addition to that, first section is having cross-sectional area A1, Young's modulus E1 because made by different material. Middle section area A2, Young's modulus E2, and third section area E3 and Young's modulus E3. But what about force? If you check the force, here at the left side, this 20 kilonewton external force is applied. At the right side, this 12 kilonewton external force is applied. And at the middle, madhल्या section la baga, 4 kilonewton force is applied as well as 6 kilonewton force is applied. Means in this particular figure 2, this particular bar is subjected to the number of loads. म्हणजे एकापेक्षा जास्त प्रकारचे लोड त्याच्यावर काय झालेले आहेत, अप्लाय झालेले आहेत. अँड आउट ऑफ दॅट सम आर एक्सटर्नल, सम आर इंटरनल. एक्सटर्नल कुठले आहेत, तर हा 10 किलोमीटरचा एक्सटर्नल फोर्स आहे, 12 किलोमीटरचा एक्सटर्नल फोर्स आहे राईट साइडला, आणि आतल्या बाजूला म्हणजे ऍट इंटरनल साइड दिस 4 kilonewton force and 6 kilonewton force is applied internally. Therefore, this particular problem or such types of the problems are comes under the category of principle of superposition. बघा पहिल्या फिगर मध्ये आणि दुसऱ्या फिगर मध्ये डिफरन्स काय तर तुम्हाला समजला असेल. वरच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये फक्त एकच एक्सटर्नल लोड P अप्लाय झालेला आहे आणि तोच P आपण सगळ्या कॅल्क्युलेशन साठी कन्सिडर करणार आहे. In the next figure or figure number 2, body subjected to the number of forces which are applied externally as well as which are applied internally. Therefore, this is called as a principle of superposition. Now, it is not possible to take this 10 kilonewton force only for our further calculation. It is not possible to take this 12 kilonewton force for our further calculation, or it is not possible to take this 4 kilonewton or 6 kilonewton force for our further calculation. So in this situation, what we have to do, we have to split up the forces for each section and we have to calculate the separate load for section number 1, separate load for section number 2, separate load for section number 3 along with their nature. In the bars of bearing cross section, we have considered that total deformation is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3. Means section number 1, it is also in tension. Section number 2, it is also in tension. Section number 3, it is also in tension. That means all the 3 sections are under tension in bars of bearing cross sectional areas or in the type number 2. But in case of a principle of superposition, along with load, we have to calculate their nature. Means whether section number 1 is subjected to the tension or compression, section 2 whether it is under tension or compression, or section 3 whether it is under tension or compression. And according to the figure which is in front of you, if you think about the section number 1, this 10 kilonewton force is applied from outside direction and this 4 kilonewton force is applied from the internal side, and according to this 2 direction, please tell me whether section number 1 is under tension or compression.
Compression.
This is under
Compression.
compression. Therefore, in the total deformation formula, that is total deformation is equal to, it is under compression, therefore I have taken the minus delta L1. Similarly, now think about section number 2. 4 kilonewton force is applied, 6 kilonewton force is applied, which is moving to the right side. According to this 2 direction, please tell me whether section 2 is under tension or compression.
Tension.
टेन्शन म्हणजे काय केले, बाहेरच्या बाजूने ओढण्याच्या ऐवजी आतल्या बाजूने त्याला काय केले, बाहेर ढकलले. म्हणजे आपण दरवेळी आपण टेन्शनची फिगर कशी बघतो बघा. आय विल ड्रॉ वन मोर फिगर लाईक दिस. तेच फक्त काय केले, हे फोर्सेस आतल्या बाजूने अप्लाय केले. Therefore, the second section is under tension. Therefore, the total deformation formula मध्ये delta 2 is positive. Therefore, it is tension. Now, in the third figure, you can see this 12 kilonewton force is applied externally, which is moving to the left side, and internally 6 kilonewton force is applied. Tell me whether section 3 is under tension or compression.
Compression.
Compression. Therefore, delta L3, it is taken as a negative. So this is the basic difference between bars of varying cross section and the principle of superposition. In bars of varying cross section, we have used simple formula. Total deformation is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3. Even load is tensile, even load is compressive. बार्स ऑफ वेअरिंग क्रॉस सेक्शन मध्ये जरी लोड टेन्साईल असला, जरी लोड कॉम्प्रेसिव्ह असला, तरी पण आपण काय केलंय, सगळ्या डिफॉर्मेशनची बेरीज केली आहे आणि त्याच्यामध्ये आपण एकच लोड सगळ्या सेक्शनसाठी काय केलेला आहे, कन्सिडर केलेला आहे. बट इन केस ऑफ ए प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन, that condition will not be applicable because this bar is subjected to the number of loads, external, internal, आणि एकच लोड म्हणजे 10 किलोन्यूटन पण आपण घेऊ शकत नाही, 4 किलोन्यूटन पण घेऊ शकत नाही, 6 किलोन्यूटन also it is not possible to take, 12 kilonewton it is also not possible to take. So what we have to do, we have to resolve the forces and we have to give the separate effect to the each section. Separate effect to the each section means we have to calculate separate load for section 1, section 2, section 3 along with their nature, and according to their nature we have to do the modification in the total deformation formula. Here the total deformation is equal to minus delta L1 plus delta L2 minus delta L3 because section 1 and section 3 are under compression and middle section is under the tension. And at the end, if I will get the deformation, total deformation in positive, for example 0.25, means I can say that after applying this much amount of external as well as internal load, the length of the bar is increases. If I will get the total deformation is equal to minus 0.23, means I can say that after applying number of external forces as well as internal forces, at the end I can say that the length of that particular bar is decreases. म्हणजे उत्तर जर पॉझिटिव्ह आलं तर आपण सांगू शकतो की हे सगळे नंबर ऑफ एक्सटर्नल आणि इंटरनल फोर्स अप्लाय झाल्यामुळे त्या बॉडीची लेंथ वाढली. जर उत्तर तुमचं निगेटिव्ह आलं तर आपण सांगू शकतो की हे सगळे फोर्सेस अप्लाय केल्यामुळे त्या बॉडीची लेंथ काय झाली, डिक्रीज झाली. सो दिस इज द बेसिक डिफरन्स बिटवीन बार्स ऑफ वेअरिंग क्रॉस सेक्शन अँड द प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन. आता ते फोर्सेस रिझॉल्व्ह कसे करायचे, दॅट वी विल सी व्हाईल सॉल्विंग द न्यूमेरिकल्स. न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व्ह करताना मी तुम्हाला ते फोर्सेस कसे रिझॉल्व्ह करायचे that I will tell. But just now, have you got the difference between type number 2 and type number 3? Anybody is having any problem?
No, sir.
No? Because this principle of superposition, 101%, one numerical is there in your examination. Also, in addition to that, some MCQ questions are also there. That MCQ questions we will discuss from MCQ booklet. But if you understood all the theoretical parts here only, you can attempt any type of MCQ based on this particular bars of varying cross section or the principle of superposition. So this is the basic difference. Bars of varying cross section मध्ये फक्त एकच लोड असतो, लक्ष ठेवा. प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन मध्ये there are number of loads externally as well as internally. Okay, I hope you have understood and you have understood how the total deformation formula is modified in case of a principle of superposition. Okay, now we'll discuss how to resolve that particular forces. How to resolve that particular forces. So for that purpose, we will take one numerical. I throw that numerical. You can easily understood that how the forces are resolved and how to calculate the separate load to the each and every section. आता ह्याच्यामध्ये बार्स ऑफ वेअरिंग क्रॉस सेक्शन प्रमाणे नाहीये, एकच लोड आपण सगळ्यासाठी कन्सिडर करत होतो अँड दॅट लोड वी आर टेकिंग आउटसाइड द ब्रॅकेट ऍज अ कॉन्स्टंट. बट हियर प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन वी हॅव टू कॅल्क्युलेट द सेपरेट loads. Now, whatever the problem is in front of you, so first of all, I will read the statement and then we will go for the further solution. So, what is the statement is in front of you? Just you just check whether screen is visible to all. Please check.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A brass bar having cross-sectional area 100 mm square. A brass bar having cross-sectional area 100 mm square subjected to axial force shown in the figure below. Shown in the figure below means figure is given to you. Find the total elongation of bar. whatever the type of statement is there in case of a bars of varying cross section, same statement is there for the principle of superposition. फक्त ह्याच्यावर आपला फरक एवढाच ओळखायचा की बार्स ऑफ वेअरिंग क्रॉस सेक्शनचा प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर त्याच्यामध्ये फक्त एकच लोड एक्सटर्नली अप्लाय केलेला असतो. प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशनचा जो प्रॉब्लेम तुम्हाला ओळखायचा असेल तर that bar is subjected to some external forces as well as some internal forces. So the statement is in front of you. A brass bar having cross sectional area 100 mm square, cross sectional area is given, that is 100 mm square, which is subjected to the axial forces. So whatever the forces are applied, number of forces, that forces are applied axially, that means along the axis which is shown in the figure below. Find the total elongation. So if you go to that particular bar, in that it consists of a total 3 sections, that is section number 1 bar AB, section number 2 bar BC, and section number 3 bar CD. That means AB, BC and CD, and total bar will be considered as a AD. Okay, that bar is subjected to the 2 external forces. One is 50 kilonewton force is applied at the left side, which is moving to the left side. Again 10 kilonewton force is applied at the right side, which is applied externally, and 2 internal forces are applied, which on or in section number 2, 180 kilonewton internal force is there and 120 kilonewton internal force is there. That means total 4 forces are applied. Out of that, 2 are external, 2 are internal. Means we can say that this particular problem is under the type number 3, that is principle of superposition. Okay, so now first of all we'll focus on the given parameters. Okay, so given that is cross sectional area, it is constant, that is 100 mm square. Need not require to go for conversion, we have to take as it is. Then length of section 1 at the bottom side figure मध्ये दिलेला आहे. L1 is given 600 mm, L2 is given 1 meter. बघा, sometimes one length is given in mm and remaining 2 lengths are given in meter. So it is your responsibility to convert all the dimensions in mm. Therefore L2 is equal to 1 meter means multiply by 10 raised to 3. You can write 10 raised to 3 or you can write 1000 mm. Then L3 is given 1.2 meter, multiply by 10 raised to 3. You can write 1200 mm. Okay, then assume Young's modulus is equal to, Young's modulus त्यांनी assume करायला सांगितलेलं किती आहे बघा, 1.05 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. So need not require to go for conversion, you can take as it is, and we have to calculate the total deformation of the bar. Okay, so this is the first that we have discussed. Now as the body is subjected to the number of forces, now first thing we have to calculate the separate load to the each and every section. How to calculate that separate load, that we will see now in this particular figure. Now first of all, in the principle of superposition, whatever the figure is given to you, for that particular figure you have to draw these 3 sections separately. So what it represents, the first rectangle or first square represents, this is section number 1, which is AB. This is the section number 1. Then section number 2, it represents section BC, and section number 3, it represents section CD. That means from A to D your total bar is there. Okay, so like that you have to draw the 3 figures. If you are solving the problems based on the principle of superposition, whatever the steps I am saying, you have to follow that steps only, just for your better understanding. In bars of varying cross section, this condition will not be applicable because we are taking same load for the further calculations, but here we have to calculate the separate load for the each and every section. So what I have done, I have drawn the section number 1, section number 2 and section number 3 one by one by its inclined line. Okay, now first of all we will think about section number 1 and section number 3. What I am saying, we will think about section number 1 and section number. The original figure is also represented at the right side. Now first of all I will take the external load applied on section number 1. What I am saying, external load applied on section number 1, how much amount of load is applied? I can take its magnitude and its direction as it is. How much? 50 kilonewton. So what I have done, that 50 kilonewton force I have taken as it is to the left side of section. म्हणजे ज्या बाजूला एक्सटर्नल लोड अप्लाय केलेला आहे त्याच बाजूला आम्ही ह्या दुसऱ्या फिगर मध्ये पण काय केला मी 50 kilonewton force is applied. At that time, whatever the external loads are applied on the section number 1, which is present at the left side, same load we have to apply to its right side having same magnitude 50 kilonewton. Means your section number 1 is subjected to the 50 kilonewton external force. Here your condition is also satisfied. Which condition? Equal in magnitude, opposite in nature. Equal in magnitude means externally 50 kilonewton force is applied at the left side. So in order to balance that particular force, what I have done, I have taken 50 kilonewton force to its right side in opposite direction. Means now your section number 1 is properly balanced. Means section number 1 is subjected to the 50 kilonewton force which is under the tension. So according to the direction, the section number 1 is subjected to the tension. Okay. In original figure मध्ये पण बघा 50 kilonewton force कुठल्या बाजूला चाललाय, लेफ्ट साइडला चाललाय. आतला 80 kilonewton force कुठल्या बाजूला चाललाय, तर राईट साइडला चाललाय. मीन्स युअर सेक्शन 1 इज अंडर द टेन्शन. Okay, so like that we have to follow for the section number 1. What I have done, I have taken this 50 kilonewton force as it is to the left side of the section, and to its opposite side I have added same magnitude but opposite in nature. Means your section number 1 is subjected to the 50 kilonewton external force which is under the tension. This is about the section number 2. Sorry, section number 1. Same process we have to follow for the section number 3. So in the section number 3, how much amount of external load is applied and where it is applied? So here I can see in the section number 3, this 10 kilonewton force is applied externally. Where it is moving? It is moving to the left side. So what I will do, I will take this particular force as it is along with their direction. How much? 10 kilonewton force. What I have done, this 10 kilonewton force externally what is applied on the section number 3, I have taken as it is along with their magnitude, along with their direction. In order to balance that particular force, what I have to do, I have to apply same force in opposite direction having magnitude same, that is 10 kilonewton. And according to the directions, whatever the directions are obtained for the section number 3, I can say that this section 3 is under the compression. So whatever the process I have followed for section number 1, same process I have to follow for section number 3. काय केलंय, सेक्शन 1 वरचा जो काय एक्सटर्नल लोड 50 किलोन्यूटनचा मी अप्लाय केला होता, त्याची डायरेक्शन आणि त्याची मॅग्निट्यूड आणि त्याची साइड आहे अशी घेतली. कुठल्या बाजूला, तर लेफ्ट साइडला. तीच मॅग्निट्यूड मी ठेवली, त्याच्या अपोजिट डायरेक्शनला अप्लाय केली, फक्त डायरेक्शन अपोजिट केली आणि त्या दोन्हीच्या डायरेक्शन वरून आपल्याला समजलं की सेक्शन 1 इज अंडर द टेन्शन. सिमिलरली सेक्शन 3 मध्ये मी काय केलं, 10 किलोन्यूटन फोर्स कुठल्या बाजूला आहे, तर राईट साइडला, एकदम राईट साइडला अप्लाय झालेला आहे. त्याची डायरेक्शन आणि त्याची मॅग्निट्यूड मी आहे अशी घेतली, त्याच साइडला मी अप्लाय केलं, बरोबर. Then what I have done, this same force I have applied to its opposite side having magnitude same but direction is opposite. And according to these two directions on section number 3, this section 3 is under the compression. So this is about the section number 1 and section number 2, sorry, section number 3, which is very simple. एकदम सोपी स्टेप आहे. तिथलेच फोर्सेस घ्यायचे ओरिजिनल आणि फक्त त्याच्या अपोजिट डायरेक्शन मध्ये त्याच फोर्सची मॅग्निट्यूड द्यायची आहे, फक्त त्याची डायरेक्शन काय करायचे, अपोजिट करायचे. आणि त्या दोन्ही डायरेक्शन वरून आपल्याला ठरवायचं आहे की तो सेक्शन 1 आणि सेक्शन 3 वेदर इट इज अंडर द टेन्शन और वेदर इट इज अंडर द कॉम्प्रेशन. Okay, so this is about section 1 and section 3. Now we'll think about the section number 2. Okay, section number 2. Now initially what we have to do, whatever the two forces are applied on the section number 2, please tell me whether section 2 is under tension or compression. Anyone? whatever the 80 kilonewton force is applied and whatever the 20 kilonewton force is applied, please tell me whether section 2 is under tension or compression.
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 Okay. So I can take this 80 kilonewton force as it is. See, I will not write down the magnitude, only I will take the direction. So the direction of 80 kilonewton I have taken to the left side of the section as it is from the figure. फक्त फिगर मध्ये काय केले बघा, तो आतल्या बाजूला दिलाय, बरोबर आहे. तो फक्त मी काय केलाय, बाहेरच्या बाजूला दाखवलाय. Similarly, to its another side, whatever the 20 kilonewton force is applied, I have taken its direction as it is. Only difference is that 20 kilonewton is applied internally. I have represented externally. म्हणजे हे आतले दोन एरो काय बघितले काय किंवा हे बाहेरचे एरो काय बघितले काय. I can say that section 2 is under the compression. But first of all, we have to calculate the magnitude. Now, section 1, section 3 will get their magnitude as well as their direction in the form of natures, that is tension, compression. But for section number 2, till will get only their nature, that is section 2 is under the compression. Okay. Now, here what we have to do, first of all, to calculate the magnitude, initially, how much amount of load is applied on the section number 2 to the left side? 80. From the original figure, I am saying from the original figure, how much amount of load is applied? 80 kilonewton. Similarly, to its opposite side, how much amount of load is applied internally on the section number 2, which is equal to 20 kilonewton. So 80 kilonewton at the left side, 20 kilonewton at the right side. But here, whether magnitudes are same, at one side 80 kilonewton is there, at another side 20 kilonewton is there. That means your forces are not balanced for this section number 2. So what we have to do? First of all, we have to balance that particular forces. So what I have to do? This 80 kilonewton I have taken as it is. Now, if you check in the original figure, there is a common line between section 1 and section 2. जिथं तुमचा सेक्शन 2 जिथं तुमचा सेक्शन 1 एंड होतोय तिथंच तुमचा सेक्शन 2 काय होतोय, स्टार्ट होतोय. बघा ओरिजिनल फिगर मध्ये पण दिसतंय किंवा हे सेक्शन 1 आणि सेक्शन 2 ला पण दिसतंय. पॉइंट बी इज कॉमन फॉर सेक्शन 1 and section 2. Point B is common for section 1 and section 2. Similarly, point C is common for section 2 and section 3. म्हणजे जिथं तुमचा सेकंड सेक्शन संपतोय तिथं तुमचा थर्ड सेक्शन काय होतोय, स्टार्ट होतोय. सो हियर व्हॉट वी हॅव टू डू, वी हॅव टू बॅलन्स दॅट फोर्सेस. 80 kilonewton इज द ओरिजिनल फोर्स अप्लाइड. मग ह्याच साइडवर ह्या सेक्शन 1 चा दिस लाईन अँड दिस लाईन आर कॉमन. मग ह्या लाईनवर ऑलरेडी 80 kilonewtonचा फोर्स अप्लाय झालेला आहे, तर ह्याच लाईनवर ही लाईन कॉमन असल्यामुळे त्याच्यावर कितीचा फोर्स अप्लाय झालेला आहे, तर 50 kilonewton. सो इफ आय विल टेक द सबट्रॅक्शन, यू विल गेट द 30 kilonewton force at the left side. Similarly, this point C is common in section 2 and section 3. Originally, on this particular side, how much amount of force is applied? Already, this 20 kilonewton force is applied. But this particular point C is common in between section 3 and section 2. Therefore, this effect of 10 kilonewton also we have to consider in the calculation of section 2. Okay. So if I will consider the effect of 10, here I will done the addition, that is 30 kilonewton. Now your condition is balanced, means at the left side 30 kilonewton force is there, at the right side 30 kilonewton force is there. But here at one side we have made subtraction, at another side we have made addition. If at the left side 80 minus 50, 30 kilonewton, at the right side 20 minus 10, 10 kilonewton, at one side 30 kilonewton, at another side 10 kilonewton, your condition will not be satisfied. Okay. Then at the another side, here if I will make addition, 80 plus 50, 130 kilonewton, 130 kilonewton we will get at the left side. At the another side 10 plus 20, 30 kilonewton. Again, your condition will not be satisfied. Your requirement is that at the left side, at the right side of the section, magnitude of both forces should be same. So in order to balance that forces, what I have done, 80 minus 50, I have taken 30 kilonewton, and 20 plus 10, I have taken the 30 kilonewton. Like that, we have to balance the forces. So while doing the calculation for the section number 2, please at one side make addition as well as subtraction. At the right side, make addition as well as subtraction. In some of the numericals, if I will make the addition at the both sides, you will get the same answer. Some of the numericals in which I have to make the subtraction at the both sides, so I will get the same magnitude. Some of the numericals are there in which at one side subtraction, at another side addition. Like that, whatever the problem in front of you. एका बाजूला आपण सबस्ट्रॅक्शन करून 30 किलोन्यूटन काढले, दुसऱ्या बाजूला ऍडिशन करून आपण 30 किलोन्यूटन काढले. काही न्यूमेरिकल मध्ये काय असतं, दोन्ही बाजूला पण तुम्हाला ऍडिशन करावे लागते तरच तुमचा फोर्स बॅलन्स होतो, किंवा दोन्ही बाजूला तुम्हाला सबस्ट्रॅक्शन करावं लागतं तरच तुमचा फोर्स बॅलन्स होतो, किंवा आताच्या प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये एका बाजूला सबस्ट्रॅक्शन आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला आपण काय केले, ऍडिशन केले. जर तसं केलं नसतं तर एका बाजूला फोर्स वेगळा, दुसऱ्या बाजूला फोर्स वेगळा. लाईक दॅट load will not be accepted in the further calculation. Like section number 1 subjected to the 50 kilonewton force at the both side. Section number 3 subjected to the 10 kilonewton force at the both sides. Similarly, either addition, subtraction, 30 kilonewton force is applied or it is obtained on the section number 2 and it is under the tension. And now based on that particular loads, here I will write the total deformation formula. The total deformation is equal to first delta L1, whether it is under tension or compression, it is under tension, therefore delta L1 need not required to write down the positive sign. Then second section is subjected to the compression, therefore minus delta L2, and third section is also subjected to the compression, therefore minus delta L3. So like that, we have to modify the total deformation formula, and while calculating delta L1, PL upon AE, in that P1 means your 50 kilonewton. While calculating delta L2 means we have to consider the P2 means which 30 kilonewton, and third, while calculating the delta L3, we have to consider the P3 force means your 10 kilonewton, means here P1 is equal to 50 kilonewton, P2 is equal to 30 kilonewton, and here we have to consider P3 is equal to 10 kilonewton. Like that, we have to resolve the forces and we have to give the separate effect to the each and every section. So for section number 1 and section number 3, there is no any problem. Very simple. जो काय एक्सटर्नल फोर्स फिगर मध्ये दिसतोय तो आहे असा त्या फिगर वर घ्या, त्याच्या अपोजिट साइडला 30 मॅग्निट्यूड टाका, डायरेक्शन अपोजिट करा. सिमिलरली फॉर सेक्शन नंबर 3, टेक that external force as it is in opposite direction, give the same magnitude but opposite in nature. But for section number 2, what we have to do, first of all we have to decide the direction. पहिल्यांदा त्याचे डायरेक्शन डिसाइड करा. Then take the original forces applied. ओरिजिनल फिगर मध्ये किती फोर्स अप्लाय केला होता, तर एका साइडला 80 आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला 20. आणि जसं मी सांगितलं that point B is common in between section 1 and section number 2. So effect of this particular 50 kilonewton force also we have to consider here. Similarly, this point C is common in between section 2 and section number 3. Therefore, the effect of this particular 10 kilonewton force also we have to consider in section number 2. And then we have to make sometimes addition, subtraction, or addition, subtraction, and then we have to calculate its magnitude, and then we have to use that particular P1, P2, P3 in the further calculations. Have you got how the forces are resolved? Anybody is having any problem, please ask.
No,
Have you
sir.
got? Yes. Others, please reply. Have you got whatever I have told, how to resolve that particular forces? Very important. Send your message in the chat box, no problem.
No
Can you go
problem,
for? Okay, so yes. Okay, I think there is no any problem. Now, once we have calculated P1, P2, P3 along with their directions, now we'll go for the further solution. So total deformation formula we are having. Here I will write. Total deformation is equal to delta L1 minus delta L2 minus delta L3. This is the total deformation formula. Okay. Then total deformation is equal to PL upon AE of section 1 minus PL upon AE of section 2 minus PL upon AE of section 3. So if you are having calculator, please start your calculations, and if you get the answer, please represent your answer in the chat box. Okay. Now put all the values. Delta L is equal to PL upon AE of section 1, means that one is applicable for all P1, L1, A1, E1. Okay. Then P is how much? 50 kilonewton. Try to convert in Newton. Therefore 50 into 10 raised to 3 into length L1 600 divided by 1000. E. How much amount of E is given? Anyone please? 1.05. 1.05 into 10 raised to 5. Okay. This is of section 1 minus section 2. How much load is there? 30. 30 into 10 raised to 3 into length, I think 1000, divided by cross sectional area into E 1.05 into 10 raised to 5 minus for section 3 10 into 10 raised to 3 into 1200 divided by again area 1000 into 1.05 into 10 raised to 5. Now out of this, which parameter we can take outside the bracket? Which constant parameter? Anyone? Which parameter we can take outside the bracket?
Area.
Area, yes. That 1000, 1000, 1000. We can take outside the bracket because cross-sectional area is common. So remaining term as it is.
Sir, modulus of elasticity पण same.
Modulus of elasticity is also same. Yes. Multiply by 1.05 into 10 raised to 5. So remaining, which terms are remaining? Only 50 into 10 raised to 3 into 600. Here 30 into 10 raised to 3 into 1000. And here 10 into 10 raised to 3 into 1200. So do the calculations and tell me the answer. Start your calculation fast and tell me the answer. Or represent your answer in the chat box. So we will verify the answer. Here calculation part is very important. Try to convert all the parameters in mm, all the forces in Newton. So in the figure, we have calculated the forces 50, 30, 10. It is in kilonewton. But by using that particular P1, P2, P3, please multiply by 10 raised to 3. Then and then your final answer will be correct. Otherwise, you will get the wrong answer. Do the calculations fast. Delta L1, delta L2, delta L3. Find out separately. And then at the end, you put it into the formulas. Delta L1 minus delta L2 minus delta L3. Do the calculations in your notebook.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, 1 upon 1000 into 1.05 into 10 raised to 5 नंतर एक कर्ली ब्रॅकेट टाकावं लागेल.
Which?
Sir, इथं
Yes, yes. It is for all, na. that we have taken outside the bracket. Total bracket, no?
Yes.
Like this. This 1 upon 1000 into 1.05 into 10 raised to 5. This term is applicable for all inside the bracket. Or otherwise, you can make separate calculation at the top. For this condition, do the separate calculation. For this, do the separate calculation. For this, do the separate calculation. And then at the end, you make addition or subtraction. You will get the answer finally. But just for your understanding, I have represented the second last step, which parameters are constant. If you have not taken outside the bracket, no problem. We can consider their effect in all calculations. And then at the end, find out the total answer. Just for your understanding, I have taken its outside bracket, how parameters are constant. Yes, 0.114, 0.114, 0.114. It is minus 0.114. Yes, it is minus. Okay, so minus 0.114 mm means we can say that as your delta L is negative, means there is a decrease in length. So same answer I can represent. Delta L is equal to 0.114 mm. In bracket, I can write capital C. Means you can remove your negative sign, and in bracket you can write down the capital C, means under the compression. Means from this particular answer, I can say that whatever the bar AD is there, as it is subjected to the number of loads which are applied externally, which are applied internally, at the end, due to their number of forces, the length of that particular bar AD is goes on decreasing, because your deformation is negative minus 0.114. So in the examination, you have to represent both the answers. Whatever negative answer you got, you write down that negative answer also. At the bottom side, you can replace that particular negative sign in the form of capital C. So both answers will be accepted, but whatever answer you got from the calculation, that answer must be there in your calculation. If you forget to write down this particular 0.114 mm in bracket capital C, no problem. But that negative answer should be there, or it must be there in your calculation or in your examination. If you represent both, that is tensile, compressive, like that, then it will be better for you. Okay, so like that you have to do for the calculation. That is total deformation is equal to minus 0.114 mm. Getting? Have you done the calculation? Everyone have you done the calculation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will give one numerical to you for your solution. Similar numerical is there, only loads are different. Now you do the calculation immediately. First of all, you have to resolve the forces and you have to tell me the P1, P2, P3 value in the chat box. Then I will check whether your answers are correct or not. So this is the calculation, detailed calculation, which is problem we have solved. So initially what I have done, I have done the delta L1 calculation separately, delta L2 calculation separately, delta L3 calculation separately, and then at the end what I have done the total deformation is equal to plus delta L1 minus delta L2 minus delta L3. You can follow any step. You can write down the total deformation formula, and in that deformation only, if you put all the values, then you will get the answer. If you do the separate calculation like that, whatever represented in front of you, then also your answer will be correct. But any step you have to follow, but your final answer must be correct anyhow. So try to do the calculation twice, 3 times, so you will get the confidence that is whatever answer I have calculated, it is correct one. Okay, now this is the problem in front of you. So I will read the problem and then you start solving. Okay, a bar of cross-sectional 100 mm square subjected to the forces shown in the figure. Calculate the total deformation of bar. Take E is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5. So whatever the bar is in front of you, it is represented. Whether screen is visible to all? So if it is not properly visible, you can zoom in from your display. Display जर तुम्ही असं दोन्ही बाजूला स्लाइड केलं तर तुम्हाला तुमची फिगर थोडी मोठी झालेली दिसेल. So whether that screen and that figure is visible to all, anyone please reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it is visible properly, please start solution and represent the value of P1, then P3, and then P2 in the chat box. So I will check. So area is given constant. You can see here 1000 mm square. Young's model is the constant. All the lengths are given. L1 300 mm, L2 400 mm, L3 600 mm. Okay, Young's model is given 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. Now draw the figure separately. Whatever the three sections I have drawn, 1, 2, 3 in inclined manner. So draw that particular figure separately. If you are doing the calculation, if you are calculating the P1, P2, P3, immediately whatever the figures I have drawn, you can see in the screen. Like that you have to draw, that is section 1, section 2 and section 3. Means AB, BC and CD. Section number 1. As it is, you have to take the direction of section 1 as it is direction and magnitude of section number 3. What is the value of P1?
1 kilonewtons.
Yes, 1 kilonewton. Whether it is under tension or compression?
Under
Tension.
Under tension. So in bracket, whatever I am writing, please see. Tension 1 kilonewton at left side, 1 kilonewton at right side. त्या चौकोनामध्ये टी लिहा म्हणजे तुम्हाला इझिली अंडरस्टँडिंग होते. सेक्शन 1 and T. Similarly for section number 3, tell me the value.
2 kilonewton.
2 kilonewton compression.
What will be its nature? Tension or compression?
Compression.
It is compression. So in that square you write down the C and tell me the nature of section 2, whether it is tension or compression from the original figure.
Tension.
Yes, it is tension in bracket or in square T. Tell me the magnitude.
2 kilonewton.
2 kilonewton.
Everyone has got kilonewton. Either addition or subtraction. At one side, I think you have to do the
Addition.
At one side, you have to go for the subtraction. That is here at the left side, 3 minus 1. कारण ओरिजिनल फोर्स किती दिलाय 3. त्याच साइडवर एक दुसरा 1 किलोन्यूटनचा फोर्स आहे म्हणजे 3 minus 1 is equal to 2 किलोन्यूटन. ओरिजिनल फिगर मध्ये ऍट राईट साइडला किती फोर्स दिला होता 4 किलोन्यूटन. त्याच साइडवर हा 2 किलोन्यूटन इफेक्ट पण आपल्याला कन्सिडर करावा लागेल. therefore -2 means 2 kilonewton. Means whatever the deformation formula you will get, total deformation is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 minus delta L3. So total deformation formula we have to define from this particular natures. By mistake for the compression, if you write plus delta L3, your final answer will be wrong. So please try to write down the nature in that particular square, whether it is under tension or compression, and accordingly you have to modify the formula. Now in this particular figure, the section 1 and section number 2 are under tension, therefore plus delta L1 plus delta L2, and section number 3 is under the compression. So now find out the delta L1, delta L2, delta L3. First of all, find out the delta L1. So here I can write now. So this is of 1 kilonewton. This is also 1 kilonewton, which is tension. This is section 2, 2 kilonewton. At another side, 2 kilonewton. This is again tension. In section number 3, it is subjected to the 2 kilonewton. At another side also 2 kilonewton. It is under the compression. That means here P1 is equal to 1 kilonewton is equal to 1 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Okay. Here P2 is equal to 2 kilonewton means 2 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. And here P3 is equal to again 2 kilonewton means 2 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So P1, then P2, and then P3. So try to convert all the calculated loads in a Newton and then go for the further calculations. What will be the final answer? Please tell. You can find out the separate. Delta L1 find out separately. Delta L2 find out separately. Delta L3 find out separately. In that, again, Young's modulus E and the cross-sectional area A, 100 mm square. These two parameters are constant. So either you can take outside the bracket or you can consider the same effect for each section. Delta L1 PL upon AE of section 1. Do the separate calculation. Section 2 PL upon AE of section 2. Do the separate calculation. Then for section 3 again separate calculation. And at the end you have to put that values in the final equation or final formula. Yes, 0.115. You have represented the answer. Please check the answer. 0.005 mm. This is the correct one. So now the final answer is in front of you. Please check 0.005 mm. Try to represent whether it is negative or final answer is negative or positive. Yes, it is C, means answer is negative. So here, whatever the screen is in front of you, in which what I have done, I have calculated delta L1 separately. I got answer 0.015 mm. Okay, so here I will write T. Similarly, delta L2, I have calculated separately 0.04. Again, it is T. Delta L3, I have calculated separately. It is compressive because third section is under the compression. And at the end, what I have done, total deformation is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 minus delta L3. So what I have done, I have kept the value of delta L1, delta L2, delta L3. I got the answer. Total deformation is equal to minus 0.005 mm. Same answer I will represent it here. Delta L is equal to 0.005 mm in bracket capital C. Means we can say that after applying that number of loads which are applied externally, which are applied internally, according to the final negative answer, I can say that that particular bar is under compression, means length of that particular bar is goes on decreasing. Everyone, have you calculated? Have you got the answer? Please check. Minus 0.005 mm. Do the calculation separately. Here, whatever calculations I have represented in your in front of you, please check. I have done the calculation of delta L1 separately. Instead of taking that area and E common, what you do? You do the delta L1 calculation separately, delta L2 calculation separately, delta L3 calculation separately. So yes, 0.015 tension. It is wrong answer. Please check.
Delta 1, sir.
Yes, delta L1. You have represented delta L1. Delta L1 is represented. The final answers are also in front of you. Please check. Delta L1 0.015. If it is positive, immediately write down the capital T in bracket. Delta L2, it is also positive. Immediately write down in bracket tension. Delta L3, according to the nature of the figure, it is negative. Therefore, write down in bracket capital C. Don't write minus 0.06. Now, to तुम्ही minus परत खालच्या formula मध्ये plus करणार. Need not required to write. Only we have to put the values in the final equation. Please check your answers. You can zoom your display from your side, so you will get the total solution. whatever I have represented on the on your in front of you. Please check the delta L1, delta L2, then delta L3 calculations, and then I have kept in total deformation formulae. You will get the final answer negative, means there is a decrease in length. Everyone, have you solved? Anybody is having any problem? You are unable to do the calculation or like that things. You have not understood how to resolve the forces. 101%, one numerical is there for 7 to 8 marks based on this particular principle of superposition. And how to identify such types of problems, I have told. Body subjected to the number of forces which are applied externally, internally. Immediately draw the 3 rectangles in inclined manner. Calculate the figure for section number 1 by using the original loading diagram. Calculate the load for section number 3 from original diagram by taking that magnitude and nature as it is. Then focus on the middle section. First of all, decide the natures, whether middle section is under tension or compression, and then go for the magnitude calculation by resolving the forces. Means sometimes we have to go for addition, sometimes we have to go for subtraction, or sometimes at one side addition or at another side subtraction. Like that process we have to follow. Once you will get the 3 loads, convert all the 3 loads in Newton. If you take as it is and if you do the calculations, your final answer will be wrong. You will get the 0 marks. Sometimes step marks will be given, maybe 1 or 2 marks for your force resolving or some formulas. Otherwise, you will get the 0 mark if you not converted all the parameters in EMM. Okay, have you got everyone? Anybody is having any problem?
No problem, sir.
Everyone?
No, sir.
Yes, -5 into 10 raised to -3. Yes, that answer is also accepted, no problem. -5 into 10 raised to -3 means -0.005 mm. But try to represent that particular answer, may finally in the form of the digits. If you got -5 into 10 raised to -3 mm, that answer is also accepted, but at the end is equal to, you represent -0.005 mm. It will be better for that particular examiner. Otherwise, that answer is also accepted, and that digit point answer, it is also accepted, no problem. But it's my request to represent that answers in the digits or in the points. Okay, so I hope you have understood. So today we will stop here. Now I request all the students, please type your roll number in the chat box for your attendance. If you miss your roll number to chat in the box, your attendance will not be considered. So please take care. Type your attendance at once by representing SB, it is common, and then your roll number.